All right, shalom to the 12 tribes, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. So this lesson is going to be titled Faith or Fear. Do you really trust in the Most High? I see there's a couple brothers on here already. Drea, shalom. BP619, shalom, shalom. Hope y'all are doing well. Y'all let me know if you can hear me, because I got a couple fans going in the back. I just want to make sure y'all hear me before I get started. Right? So this lesson is going to be talking obviously about faith and what real faith is, some of the descriptions of faith, the definition, the biblical definition of faith, and then a few stories about faith in the word. All right, now this is something that's very important because we all have to have faith in order to please the Most High, right? And just like in Christianity and in all other walks or all other different religions, even so-called in the truth, knowing where Israel, things of that nature, etc. There's people that think they have faith but don't have real biblical faith, right? So we're going to go ahead and start in 2 Corinthians 5 and 7.
This is 2 Corinthians 5 and 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight.
So we always have to walk by faith and not by sight, right? So faith is something that we can't see, right? We can't physically see faith. It's just like the wind, but you can feel it when you truly have faith. All right, so go ahead and go to chapter 13 and verse 5. Chapter 13 and 5, and then we'll get the definition of faith according to the word.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith.
So examine yourselves whether you're really in the faith of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, in the faith of the words of the Bible. Go ahead.
Prove your own selves.
And prove your own selves, right? The way we prove ourselves is with our works. Go ahead.
Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai is in you, except ye be reprobate?
So it says, do you not know your own selves, right? It's easy to get idle or get lazy and not examine your own self, and then you don't know your own self, right? That's like if haven't you ever, say you're working or something like that, and then you get home and you're taking a shower and you're like, oh damn, I got a little cut right here, I didn't even know, or I got a bite right here, right? Like you weren't examining yourself. It's the same thing in this walk. You have to examine yourself so that you can understand if you're truly in the faith and see if Yahweh Shai, or if the word, because that's what Yahweh Shai is, right? The word in the flesh is truly in you. Because if not, then you're a reprobate. So let's go ahead and go to Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1. So we're supposed to walk by faith and not by sight, right? Go ahead.
This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
So faith is the substance of things hoped for, right? It's like the scriptures say, hope that is seen is not hope. Because what do you have to hope for if you already see it, right? So having faith, faith is the evidence of things not seen. So like I had said in a previous post, when you have real faith, you're going to do things according to the word, even when you don't understand or don't know how it's going to work out, right? It may seem like all the chips are stacked against you and you're like, man, I have no idea how things are going to work out. But the word says do this, and the Most High put the spirit on me to know this, or he made me come across somebody that showed me these verses, or he made me come across this video or these verses that say this. So I know the right thing to do is this, what the word says. But then of course your carnal mind, your feelings, your emotions, things like that are going to tell you, well, what about this? Well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if it doesn't work out? Well, remember in the past, these types of things didn't work out. Well, were you following the word in the past? Right? So again, go ahead and read it one more time.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
It's the evidence of things not seen. You may not be able to see something, but if you have faith in it, then you're going to act on it, right? It's just like when it says that the world, we didn't see the world created, right? Matter of fact, go ahead and go to verse 3.
Um, Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
So did you see the world get created? Did I see the world get created? Is the world here?
It's definitely here.
It's here, right? So we didn't see that happen, but we still have faith that the Most High created it, right? That's faith itself. And it's crazy. I remember a long time ago, someone had told me most people have more faith in the chairs that they sit on than they do of the Most High.
Oh, man.
Because you think about it, you don't check the chair. You don't say, oh, is there a screw loose? Oh, let me check. Is that leg wobbly? Nah, you just sit down on it, right? But then when it comes to the Most High, when it comes to, okay, his word says to do this, you're like, well, what if it doesn't work out? Well, what if things go badly? You don't trust him and just do it the majority of the time.
What if it does work out?
Exactly, right? So go ahead and read verse 6.
But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
So without faith, it's impossible to please the Most High. It's impossible to please him without faith. And we're going to read in James right now what faith makes you do, right? It's impossible to please Yahweh without faith. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is. Obviously, if you're trying to go to Yahweh, to come to Yahweh, you have to believe he exists, number one. But you also have to believe that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So how do you come to Yahweh? How do you diligently seek him? It's by following that straight gate. It's by following the words of the Bible, by following his word, right? That's how you seek him. It's not just by reading every day. It's not just by, okay, let me, I'm going to keep Sabbath and I'm going to do a few of these things. Yes, these are necessary, but diligently seeking him means, so no matter what situation you're in, if his word says do this, then you're going to do it because you have faith in him and in his word. And that's how you continue to seek him and seek him and seek him. And you have to believe that he's going to reward you if you're actually doing that, right? Whether your carnal mind can comprehend it or not, because the majority of the time you can't comprehend it.
You're not supposed to most of the time.
Exactly. If the Most High is perfect and we're imperfect, how could we understand his perfect will? Right? So that's why you just have to have faith in what he's trying to do in your life and just go with it, right?
Definitely. Just go with the flow.
Go ahead and read verse 7 and then we'll go to James 7 and we'll read 7 and 8.
This is Hebrews 11 and 7. By faith, Noah being warned of Yahweh of things not seen as yet.
So Noah was warned, right, of things he couldn't see yet. Remember, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So Noah couldn't see that the flood was coming. So then what was the evidence that he had that it was coming? He had faith in the Most High. That was all the evidence he needed, right? And if you think about it, that's all the evidence we should need. If the Most High says, okay, a prudent man foreseeth the evil, but the simple pass on and are punished. Okay, I have faith that in order to be prudent, you got to foresee the evil and change the ways and not just change my ways and not just keep going on as a simple man, right? If the Most High says you got to start keeping the commandments or you're going to continue being cursed, right? And you have faith and you're going to, okay, I'm going to keep the commandments. If the Most High says it is not good for a man to be alone, I'm going to create a woman for him. And if the Most High says a man is going to be a cover from all these things to come, then you're going to believe that and you're going to do it, right? So by faith, Noah being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet,
moved with fear.
he moved with fear. Because that's the thing. If you have faith in the Most High, real faith in the Most High, you also are going to have fear of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have true fear, fear makes you move.
Yes, it does.
Right? Faith and fear make you move. It's like the example I've given many, many times. If there's an 18-wheeler coming down the street, and I say, yo, y'all, there's an 18-wheeler coming down the street. Look, it's 7 blocks away. And he has faith that it is coming, or he has fear of getting hit by it. What's he gonna do?
I'm gonna move out of the way.
He's gonna start moving out of the way. Now I'm like, hey, it's 6 blocks away. Hey, it's 4 blocks. It's 2 blocks away. If he doesn't move, then he doesn't have real faith that it's coming.
Exactly.
If he doesn't move, he doesn't have real faith of dying by getting hit by that. And you take that and apply it to whatever situation you're going through. But mainly, you use it as preparation for what is to come in the times we're living in. Because we can all see that we're getting closer and closer to those real bad Jacob's trouble days, right? And you got to apply that faith and that fear spiritually and physically. Go ahead.
By faith, Noah being warned of Yahweh of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith.
So what did he do? He was warned by Yahweh of things he couldn't see. He had faith, so he moved with fear, and he prepared an ark to save his house. Right? That's the deeds coming in, the works coming in with the faith, by the which he condemned the world, right? And we cannot condemn each person, right? Oh, that person's not going to make it. Mm-hmm. But we can say, if that person doesn't repent, they shall likewise perish, just like Yahushua said.
That's it, Yahweh.
All right, so then it says, and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. Go ahead.
By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise.
So Abraham didn't know where he was going to go. But what did he do? He obeyed. Not knowing whither he went. He just did it. The Most High said, do this, Abraham. And what did he do? He did it.
Mm-hmm.
The Most High said, Noah, this is coming. Prepare an ark. What did he do?
Prepared it.
He prepared an ark. Because when you have real faith, again, it is going to bring about works. It's going to bring about action. It's going to bring about deeds.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and go to James, the 2nd chapter. And I mean, we could read the whole 2nd chapter, right? But we'll actually go ahead and start on 1, and then we'll jump down.
This is James chapter 2, verse 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our Adonai Yahushua, the Lord of glory, with respect of persons.
So don't have faith with respect of persons. In other words, you have faith in what the Most High says over anybody else, right? No matter, well, but this guy is so mighty. He has this many men under him. He's been teaching for this many years.
And he said this.
And he said this. So should I believe him, have respect to persons, or do I believe thus saith Yahweh?
Well, thus saith Yahweh. We're not supposed to have respect for persons. So.
Exactly. So you don't have real faith if you have respect unto persons. Right, just to get that out of the way. So go ahead and jump down to verse 14.
What doth it profit? What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have not works? Can faith save him?
Can faith without works save you? That's like saying, because a lot of people say they have faith, right? But to give a real world example, if I say I have faith, the Most High is going to give me a job, and I apply for 0 jobs, right? That's vain faith.
Oh, amen.
That's vain faith, right? Go ahead and jump down to 19.
Come. This is verse 19.
Or Salakia, 17.
Salakia, 17. Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead being alone.
So your faith is not living faith. It's not alive faith if it doesn't have works to go along with it. It is dead being alone. If I say, hey, yo, y'all, and let's say back in the world, because I don't do fighting MMA no more, right? But if I said, hey, y'all, I'm going to be the world champ, I'm going to be the world champ in the UFC in my weight division. And then I never train, right? But I believe it. I have so much faith. And I knew dudes that would fight and they would rarely train. And guess what? They would always lose. Yep. I knew a dude had a record that was like, I think like 2-20 or 2-18, something like that.
That's horrible.
Because he would come in to train once or twice a week.
That's horrible.
Right? So what does it profit you having faith, but you don't have the works and the deeds to back it up? Go ahead.
Yeah, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
So I will show thee my faith by my works. That's how you show true faith. Because let's put it this way. What if Brother Kana, was like, oh yeah, I believe the Bible, but I'm eating pork and I never have fringes on, and I shave my face and
shave his head,
shave my head, and I'm with a bunch of harlots.
Yep, that's lascivious.
And I'm acting like an effeminate, and I'm not providing for my household.
Yep. Right?
But I have faith, and I even believe I have faith. Right? Am I showing my faith with my works? No, I'm doing the opposite.
You're showing your lack of faith by your lack of works.
Exactly. And that's why people say they have faith, and they have faith in the Most High, or I have faith in God, right? Yeah, but in reality, they just believe that there is a God. And that's not enough for the Most High, as it's about to say. Go ahead.
Thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. So
all these devils and demons, they believe in the Most High. They have faith that he exists, right? But real faith, again, faith that is living, you have to have works. Go ahead.
But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead?
So, oh, vain man. Vain. What's vain, Ak?
It means worthless. Another word for vain means useless. So you got useless, worthless. You got lie, facade, fake, fiction. I can come up with so many things right now. Like,
and one of my favorite ones in the Hebrew is breathly.
Breathly, that's even better.
Right? Because anything breathly is like of this world.
Yeah.
Right? So, oh, vain man, oh, useless man, oh, lying man.
Worthless.
Right? Worthless man. Your faith is vain if it doesn't have works to back it up. Right? And it's going to give another example. Go ahead.
Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac, his son, upon the altar?
How many of us would offer up our son for the Most High?
Shoot, I know I would if the Most High told me to. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna say it's gonna be easy, but I do it if he gave me a vision or something where he physically told me to do such a thing and we was in that type of time period, hey, so be it. Let's say it.
But how many people would do that? Not very many.
I've been saying
the majority of people would not, right?
About 99% won't.
So this is what the Most High does a lot of times, right? And this has happened to me multiple times, where he'll put something, he'll just test your faith, right? To see if you're, to make you prove yourself, right? Like we just read in 2 Corinthians 13:5, right? Examine yourself whether you're in the faith. Prove your own selves, right? So the Most High has put certain situations or circumstances in my life where it's like, okay, you believe, you have faith, then let me put you through this and see if you really have faith.
Prove it.
Right? Like Job, but on a way lesser scale.
Right.
Way lesser scale.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So one time, years ago, or probably a year and a half ago, close to a year and a half ago, one of my daughters said, "You know what? I don't want to follow the Bible no more. I want to eat whatever I want to eat. When I go with my mom, I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat. I'm going to do it. I'm going to celebrate holidays. I'm going to blah, 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 whatever." So I talked to my rib about it, and I was like, you know what? She wants to go live with her mom. She wants to do her own thing. If that's the Most High's will, I mean, that's what we're going to have to let her do. And it was hard, of course, just like you said, like not so much offering your son like Abraham did with Isaac on the altar,
right.
But I had to get to that point where I was content with, okay, if that's what I got to do for the Most High, it's like, exactly, it's like it says in Matthew 19:29, anyone who forsakes family, houses, mother, wife, brother, lands, anything for my name's sake, will inherit everlasting life and receive 100-fold. So this is the spirit that I got into, right? Mm-hmm. So just like Abraham, it says Abraham, our father, was justified by works when he offered Isaac his son upon the altar, right? So then, but did the Most High make him kill him?
Oh, he stopped him before he was about to do it.
Right when he was about to do it.
He was about to put the blade straight to him. He said, whoa.
He said, okay.
I believe you. Okay.
You proved your faith, right?
I got you.
So the same thing happened with me. I told my daughter, look, if you're not going to behave, you're not going to want to follow the word. You want to go live with your mom? Okay. Right? And shortly after that, long story short, so I won't take up too much time and go off topic. A few months after that, she was baptized by her own choice and it wants to follow the word now, right? Not saying it's been perfect the whole time, of course, with children, in understanding, especially. There's certain times where it's like grievous, but then as long as you keep the faith and you keep them in order, and like it says in 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter, how you're keeping your house in order and comforting those in your home and things of that nature, it's all going to work out according to the Most High's will, right? But go ahead and read verse 22 or 21 and 22.
Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect?
Go ahead.
And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed Yahweh, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of Yahweh.
So in 22 it says, do you see how faith wrought with works, and by works was faith made perfect? Right? So you can have faith and believe the Bible is true, and you can have faith and believe that Yahweh is real, but your faith is made perfect by works. Faith wrought with works is made perfect, right? And then verse 23, it says, Abraham believed Yahweh. How did he prove that he believed Yahweh? By doing what he said to do. So whatever the scriptures say to do, if you read it and you really have faith and you want your faith to be living faith and you want your faith to be made perfect, you have to do what the scriptures say to do. And when you do that, it is imputed unto you for righteousness, and you get to be called the friend of Yahweh. Imagine that, like the friend of the friend of the creator of all things seen and unseen.
Oh man, that would bring a tear to my eye. If he told me that, I would cry.
Right? Him or Yahweh Shai, one of the angels just, hey, you're a friend of the Most High.
Are you serious?
Imagine that.
Oh my God. I literally cried.
Go ahead and read 24.
Ye see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only.
So faith and works is how you will be justified. Go ahead and read 26.
For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
So faith without works is dead. Right? Go ahead and go to 2nd Ezra chapter 9. So again, we have to walk by faith and not by sight. You may see, oh man, like Abraham, man, I gotta put my child to death. but you're still walking in faith because you're walking in the obedience of what the Most High commands you to do. Right? If you're not walking in what he commands you to do, then you're not walking in faith. Go ahead. Verse 6. Oh, 7, Salakia.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved, Salakia, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed.
So this is talking about in Jacob's trouble. Okay? Everyone that's going to be saved is going to escape, just like Yahushua said in Luke 21 and 36. He said to pray always you're accounted worthy to escape all those things that are going to happen. Right? So this says everyone that's going to be saved and escape, it's going to be by what?
It's going to be by your works and your faith.
By his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. Because again, just like Abraham, when you really believe and you have faith, it's going to bring about works. Go ahead.
Likely. I'm going to start from 7 again.
Go ahead.
And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
So everyone who's going to be saved and escape, it's going to be by works and by faith, and they're going to be preserved from all of these things, right? So as we know, with all these genetically modified foods and all these other types of foods, they put a lot of preservatives in them. Why? It's to make them last longer. So there's going to be people that are preserved or protected or be able to last through all the perils and all of the plagues and all of the things that are going to happen. And they're going to see the Most High salvation and the Holy Land, right? But how, again, are they going to do this? Through faith and through works, right? And the only ones that are going to be able to do it are those he has sanctified and chosen from the beginning. So we don't know who these people are. We can't say, and that's why we say we're hopeful elect, because we don't know if we're of that number, but we hope to be of that number. And we do have faith that that is a possibility, because we're at least trying to follow the Most High's ways.
I got a precept too.
Go ahead.
Going off of verse 8, where it talks about how he's going to preserve a specific people. Psalms chapter 4, verse 3. But know that Yahweh has set apart him that is godly for himself. Yahweh will hear when I call unto him.
Come. And that's another indicator of who could be a part of the chosen, right? Because when you're set apart, right, and this is something I've been explaining to a lot of brothers and sisters lately, when you're become set apart from wicked people, from wicked situations, from wicked environments, from wicked houses, lands, people, etc., you have to know, like it says here, it says, know that Yahweh has set apart him that is godly. When you're truly striving to live godly, the Most High is going to say, okay, you know what? You're actually striving to follow my ways. I'm going to set you apart. And it says for himself. He's setting you apart for himself. And then it says, Yahweh will hear when I call unto him. Because like I've said many times before, if your though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. Right? So being set apart from the wicked in these last days is going to be very imperative for your salvation. All right, so let's go ahead and go to 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. 2 Timothy 3, and let's start on verse 12. Because we have to understand, just because we have faith, right, and we're putting in the works, does that mean everything's going to be perfect?
Oh, no.
Of course not, right? We have to partake in some of Yahushua's sufferings in order to be, to partake in the glory that's going to come later on.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 12. Yeah, and all that will live godly in Hamashiach Yahushai shall suffer persecution.
Anybody trying to live godly, right, in the word is going to suffer some type of persecution. And like I've said many times before, the majority of the time, the first people it comes from is those close to you, your family,
Man.
your so-called family and friends,
That's
right?
the-
Worldly.
And that's the hardest ones for people to cut off when they come to the truth. Too.
Exactly. That's the hardest ones for people to get away from. Right. So that's why, like the brother just brought out that precept, which goes along perfectly with this through the spirit. The Most High will set you apart from those people, so you won't have to suffer as much as if you're always around them and they're trying to persecute you. Right. And it doesn't even have to be persecution that you can physically see, right? Because we battle against what?
We battle against higher powers, principalities,
spiritual wickedness.
Yes, a whole bunch of that.
Right. So it could be them just, man, I don't know why you're into that. You're brainwashed. You're this. You're that. You're the other. But what you don't really notice, and it affects you even more, is the spirits that are on them that are trying to get at you. Right. And they'll have you moving in a spirit of fear as opposed to a spirit of power. Right. So if you want to hold that and get 2 Timothy 1:7, because it says all that live godly in Mashiach Yahushai, which is the word, everyone trying to live in this word is going to suffer persecution. And when no matter what, it's going to happen in certain ways, but the more you set yourself apart, the less it's going to happen. Go ahead.
This is 2 Timothy 1:7. For Yahweh hath not given us the spirit of fear.
So the Most High doesn't give you a spirit of fear. So who's that coming from?
The devil himself.
It's coming from the enemy, and all these evil spirits are trying to keep you in a spirit of fear because that keeps you away from your power. Go ahead.
For Yahweh hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind.
So the Most High gives you a spirit of power in order to do what? In order to put in works and to make the moves necessary to actually prove your faith, right? That's why it says, prove yourselves, right? Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Am I really in the faith? Prove yourself if you're really in the faith, right? And how do you prove yourself? It's by moving in that spirit of power. And again, that spirit only comes from the Most High, from the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. And a spirit of fear comes from any other type of spirit that's not of the Most High. So go ahead.
I got a precept for you too.
Go ahead.
And this goes off of 2 Timothy 1:7. In the Wisdom of Sirach, chapter 22, verse 16, it says, as timber girt and bound together in a building cannot be loosed with shaking, so the heart that is established by a wise counsel shall fear in no time.
So when you truly believe in that counsel, which is the word of the Most High, right, you're not going to let go of that, right? You're not going to be able to be moved away from that.
You got to have faith to know these words is true.
Exactly, right? Go ahead and read 12 and then keep going.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse...
Salakia, chapter 3 and 12.
Salakia, this is verse 12, moving down. Yeah, and all that will live godly in Hamashiach Yahushai shall suffer persecution. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So
this is another indicator. If you could be one of those, like I said in 2nd Ezra 9 and 8, one of those that was sanctified and chosen from the very beginning, right? We see people that are so-called in the truth that are just waxing worse and worse.
Oh, man.
They're not getting more and more holy. They're getting worse and worse. They're deceiving more and more people. And they are being deceived because a lot of them actually believe they're moving in the spirit of the Most High. They're calling on his name and things of this nature, right? Go ahead and keep going.
But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them.
But us, even though we see this happening, we have to continue to move in the things that we have learned, right? And we have to be assured in this word, having true faith, being assured because we know whom we learn these things from. We learn these things from the Most High. Go ahead.
And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith which is in Hamashiach Yahushua.
And from a child you have known the scriptures, right? So when you first come into the truth, it's like Yahushua said, right? When he was telling them, he had the child in front of him, and he said, unless you become like a child, you're not going to enter into the kingdom. When you first come into this truth, you have to have that moment. I know I had that moment where I was like, damn, everything I learned in the majority of 99% of everything I learned in Catholicism, in Christianity, in the apostolic church was all lies.
And it was in the wrong spirit when teaching.
Con. And that's when you become like a child again. When you humble yourself and you start back from the beginning like a child. Right? So it says, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures. So it doesn't have to literally mean you were a child, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Hamashiach Yahushua. Again, in the word, in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Go ahead.
All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness.
So you also have to have faith in this right here. You have to have faith, like the brother said earlier, that all these scriptures are given by inspiration of the Most High. Right? When you get corrected on something. No, brother, actually, you can't do that. It says right here, look, here's 2, 3, 4, 5 precepts. You don't get mad at that brother, or that I'm gonna go with brother, because a sister really shouldn't be correcting a man like that. You can't get mad at that, brother. You have to know that all scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh, right? And if you truly believe that, you're gonna take that and you're going to apply it. Go ahead and read 17.
That the man of Yahweh may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
So when you truly believe and have faith that all these scriptures were given by inspiration of Yahweh, and you have to believe that it is profitable for doctrine, right? A set of rules to live by, for reproof and correction. So you got to get corrected by it. And for instructions in righteousness. If you want to live righteously, right, you have to be able to be corrected by these scriptures. That's the only way that you're going to be able to even obtain a small amount of righteousness. Because it's like Isaiah said, right? All our righteousness is as filthy rags compared to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Think about it that way. We're nowhere close to even being anywhere near Yahushua, how he walked. But that's why he had to come, because we couldn't keep the laws perfectly in the first place.
That's just like what I was saying. We talked about earlier. I was saying how sometimes I sit here and I feel like, yeah, I'm striving my best, but all the time I still feel like it's not good enough, because at the end of the day, we're not perfect. We can't be perfect.
And that's why we need his mercy, and that's why we needed Yahushua, and that's why we needed grace. Right? And that's why it's crazy to me that brothers and sisters, let's put it this way, right? Not to get off topic, but brothers and sisters that don't believe in baptism for remission of sins, right? They're basically saying that we didn't need Yahushua to come then.
Exactly.
Because back then, the Israelites were trying to keep the laws, trying to keep the Torah, right? But they couldn't keep it good enough. Yeah. So then Yahushua had to come and die for our sins and set the example, and he got baptized for remission of sins. Now we do that for remission of sins. So what brothers and sisters are saying when they so-called come into the truth is, okay, I'm going to keep the laws to the best of my ability, and then I'll make it to the kingdom. So that's like saying, well, I don't need Yahushua then, because in the Old Testament they were trying to keep the laws.
Yeah, it's a double whammy now. You got to get baptized first
and then strive to keep the laws, right?
Yeah, that's it. So that way you don't,
So that's why it's crazy to me. But go ahead and read verse 17 one more time.
that the man of Yahweh may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good work.
Unto all good faith.
No, works.
Unto all good works. So again, if you have faith that all scriptures are given by inspiration of the Most High, they're profitable for doctrine, correction, and instruction in righteousness, it is going to lead you to all good works. Right? Go ahead and go to Deuteronomy 32 and 20. Deuteronomy 32 and 20. So this is what people don't understand, because they believe that faith, it's the whole Christian, it's the Christianity still creeping in, is what it is. Right? That Christian spirit is still in them, even if they're in the truth, so-called in the truth.
That Nicolaitan spirit.
Exactly, that Nicolaitan spirit, right?
You said 32 and 28?
And 20, 32 and 20.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith.
So the Most High said he hides his face from the children that don't have faith. So again, what does faith bring about?
Work.
It brings about works, right? So when you have real faith, it brings about works, and then your works are proved. Your faith is proved through your works. So this said the Most High will hide his face from those that are froward and have no faith. And I'm gonna do a whole video. I might even do a lesson on being froward. Right? So being froward, let's put it this way.
Very crooked.
So many, okay, so crooked is one of the definitions, right? Let me get it actually. But when you look at the modern day definition, check this out. Tell me, you can't tell me that many people, even so-called in this truth, are not froward. So this is the Oxford, this is the first one that pops up, right? I just put froward meaning on Google. It's the Oxford Dictionary. Froward, of a person, difficult to deal with. How many people do you know that are difficult to deal with?
Damn near all of Israel.
It's the people that they just gotta be that person.
Gotta be that one.
They gotta, everything is cool. Everybody's, you know what, we're in the spirit, we're getting along, but there's that one person that just has to be froward. They gotta be difficult to deal with. And the next definition is contrary.
Contrary to what's supposed to be going on.
They just gotta be that person. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'll make a video or maybe even do a whole lesson on it. But it says, for they are a froward generation, children in whom is no faith. Our people are very difficult to deal with, even though they say they believe in the word. And you just, it should be like this. Here you go, or here you go, sister. You're having trouble with this. Here are some scriptures. This will tell you exactly what to do.
That's your belief,
right? That's your interpretation.
Yeah, you read that out of context.
Or it'll just be like, oh, okay, well, let's put it this way. It should be as simple as this. I believe, if you really believe that all scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High, and you have faith, then okay, the scripture says that, that's what I'm going to do. That's what it should be. If you really have faith in the Most High. But instead, you're froward and you don't have faith. So you make all these excuses up as to why you're not going to do it.
Exactly.
That's it. That's as simple as you can. It's like a following Yeshua said, has said about a million times. I've heard him say it, right? He'll say what it really comes down to is you're going to do it or you're not going to do it.
Pick a side.
It's as simple as that. If you have faith and the Bible says do this, you're going to do it. If you're not going to do it, then you don't have faith.
The Bible's not really up for debate.
Exactly. So go ahead and go to Psalm 119. Or actually, go to Proverbs 20 and 6. Proverbs 20 and 6. Because a lot of people claim to have faith. And it's like I said in that post, right? The word faith gets thrown out there like it means absolutely nothing.
Gets thrown around like harlots.
Exactly, like from from camp member to camp member is what I've heard from certain camps. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 20, verse 6. Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find.
Most men are going to proclaim that they have faith.
Mm-hmm.
Most women are going to proclaim and say that they have faith.
Mm-hmm.
But a faithful man, who can find? That's like saying, who can find gold out in this field back here?
Mm-hmm.
Chances are you ain't going to find it.
Right.
Right? So most men will proclaim their own goodness. When Yahushua even said, why thou callest me good? There's one that's good, and that's the Father in heaven.
That's it.
Right? And that's like, what was that verse? How does it go that you were talking about the other day? Let another man praise you.
Yeah, let another man praise thee, not thine own lips, a stranger not thine own lips.
Yes, so not from your own mouth are you supposed to be praising yourself. Oh, I'm so wise, and I'm so this, and I'm so righteous. That's not how it's supposed to be. If someone else says, you know what, man, that was a good lesson. There was a lot of knowledge in that. Okay, all praise to the Most High. You send it right back to the Most High, because in the end, all wisdom comes from Him, like it says in Proverbs 2 and 6. Right, but using this with faith. Go ahead and read it one more time, Mike.
Most men will proclaim his own goodness. Oh, Salaki. Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find.
It's hard to find people that are full of faith.
Mm.
And a lot of people, what's happening right now is they're putting their faith in man, which that's a whole nother lesson. I believe I've done a lesson on that as well, about putting your trust in the Most High and not in man. But a lot of people are putting their faith and confidence in people that aren't really full of faith. And what's going to happen is when these hard times really kick in, they're going to be looking to these people, and all that's going to come is trouble. All that's going to come is pain and sorrow, because they're trusting in people that are not truly faithful. If you want to go to Proverbs 25, and I believe it's 19.
This is Proverbs chapter 25, verse 19. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint.
So imagine this, right? And you can look at this. Let's say, okay, something that's been happening a lot for probably at least a year, maybe a couple years, that I've been seeing personally because of females that I've counseled in the past, right? They end up marrying a man that is not full of faith. He's not truly faithful. He's not really in the spirit. They should have proved him longer or better, and now they're stuck with him. And now they're like, well, can you give me counseling on this or that or the other? And if he doesn't want to do it, I'm not going to counsel you because you're married, right? So you can do it from that, what I would say, not in a negative sense, but like lower level, because that's just on a one-to-one basis, a woman and a man, right? But then you can go all the way up to a camp, right? You have men that are not truly faithful, and they're teaching you all these things and teaching you don't really got to do things, just have faith, etc. Or they're teaching you the wrong thing. Or just have faith that your sins are cleansed. You don't got to get baptized in water like Yahushua did, even though he's the perfect example, right? Trusting in that when Jacob's trouble comes along is like a broken tooth, putting trust in a broken tooth, or putting trust in a foot that's out of joint, right? Go ahead and read it one more time, Mark.
Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint.
So you're in Jacob's trouble, and you have a broken tooth, and you just bite into an apple.
Oh my God. And
it just snaps in half. And I don't know if y'all ever had a toothache where it's the nerve.
It feels so bad.
There's no other type of pain like that, where it's that nerve, and it's like putting confidence in that. So what is putting confidence in an unfaithful man in Jacob's trouble going to bring? It's going to bring nothing but pain, right? It's like putting confidence in a foot out of joint. Imagine trying to run. You know, when you're going to run and you put all your weight, you have pure confidence in that step, and you just take off, snap, and imagine your foot's out of joint.
Oh my God.
And those bones just rub against each other and just
Scream.
Man, that's exactly how it's gonna be, right? In those days. But let's go ahead and go to Proverbs 27 and 5. 27 and 5. So when you have faithful people around you, though, you got to understand that people that are full of faith are going to be loving you according to the scriptures, right? And if you're full of faith, you're going to be loving your neighbor according to the scriptures too, which means doing what?
Rebuking them, approving them, instructing them.
Exactly. Because when you understand the scriptures, right? What did Yahushua say were the two most important commands?
Love Yahweh with all thy heart and soul, and love thy neighbor as thine own self.
And love your neighbor as your own self. So if you truly love yourself, right? You're examining and correcting yourself. Oh shit, you know what? I did this. That was going off. Man, I really got to get this in check. I'm trying to make it to the kingdom. I love my soul. I'm trying to make it to the kingdom. I'm going to correct myself. So when Yahushua said, love your neighbor as yourself, if you're correcting yourself, trying to make it to the kingdom, you have to correct your neighbor also if you are faithful. And that's another work that you have to do. Go ahead.
Open rebuke is better than secret love.
Oh, I got a secret admirer. They really care about me, and they sent me this and that and the other. Guess what? Open rebuke is better than that. When you have a friend that'll just be straight up with you, that's way better than secret love. Someone who secretly loves you. Go ahead.
Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
Read that one more time, Hug.
Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
This is something everybody has to learn, right? Faithful are the wounds of a friend. Hasn't anyone ever told you something? It's like, damn, that just cut me. It cut you to the spirit, right? Like it says in Hebrews 4 and 12. This word cuts you to your spirit, to your soul, if you really believe it. Calm, because when you believe it and you're like, damn, it's like when David when he cheated, or when he got what's his name, Uriah, killed, right? And then they're telling him the story of how, oh yeah, this man, he was an adulterer and he a murderer, and he's like, tell me who he is right now and I'll have him killed. And then it was him, and he was like, damn, it just cut into his spirit, right? You're right, man, you're right. It was me. And he repented and sought the Most High with tears, and he truly repented of it, right? But what we have to understand, going back to this, it says faithful are the wounds of a friend. A friend is going to be willing to wound you emotionally, wound your feelings at the moment, in order to try to faithfully save your soul, right? But the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
Very much so.
So who is your enemy? Go ahead and get Sirach 33 and 14. Who is your enemy? Your enemy is anybody not trying to follow this word, right? I'm gonna read this one more time. Proverbs 27 and 6. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Because an enemy, anybody not following this word, they're going to try to act like they love your soul. Yep. They're going to try to act like they love you. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so handsome. You're so this, you're so that. They're going to play to your ego, right? Those kisses are deceitful, though. Go ahead.
This is Wisdom of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
So good, just like good is set against evil, blessings against the curses, life is set against death, so is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So who's your enemy, Og?
The one who is not following the will of the hour.
The one who is, exactly. So remember, it says, the Most High said that a friend of the world is a what?
Enmity.
An enemy of the Most High. right? So if we truly understand that, right, and it's also like the scriptures say that how does it say if you'll be
not of the world.
Con that as well, but let me get it real quick. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. Right? Then it says, separate thyself from thine enemies.
Take heed of thy friends.
And watch out for your so-called friends. Right? Separate from your enemies, take heed of your friends, because many times your so-called friends are actually your enemies in the spiritual realm.
Oh,
right? So in the physical, they're over here trying to kiss you, right? The kisses.
I love you, bro. Hit me up. I love you, man.
The kisses of an enemy are deceitful, but faithful are the wounds of a friend. So if you're a faithful friend to somebody, what are you going to do? You're going to be correcting them, reproving them, defending them. You want to go to Sirach chapter 6, and then we'll get back off of so much of a faithful friend. But this does go along perfectly with this, because if you're in the faith, you have to be a faithful friend to people.
Absolutely.
6 and 14.
This is Sirach chapter 6 and verse 14. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure.
So a faithful friend, a friend full of faith that has faith and works, is going to be a strong defense. How are they going to defend you? Because they're going to openly rebuke you. They're going to correct you. They're going to try to keep your soul on the right path, on the straight gate.
Take their soul.
Exactly. And it says, he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure. That's a treasure. But a lot of times people don't treat you like a treasure when you're openly rebuking or correcting them according to the word.
Oh, no.
Right? Most people don't want to hear that. And that's like it says in Thessalonians, he that despiseth doesn't despise man, they despise the Most High, who has given us the Holy Spirit.
I think it says also, he that hateth correction despises his own soul.
Exactly. So in reality, when you don't see a faithful friend as a treasure, and you don't truly see that as a good thing, it's because you despise your own soul. Right? You don't care. That person actually cares more about your soul than you do. Right? Go ahead and keep going. 15.
Nothing doeth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is unvaluable.
Nothing is more worth than a faithful friend that is going to help keep you in order, keep you on the right path. Right? His excellency is unvaluable. But a lot of people, again, don't see you like that. They see you as an enemy, because in the spiritual realm, again, you are their enemy, because they're not trying to follow the word. They're not trying to be correct. Right? Go ahead, 16.
A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear Yahweh shall find him.
And when you truly fear Yahweh, you're going to find a friend that is the medicine of life. Right? Because it's like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, it says it wasn't mollifying plaster or herbs that healed you, but thy word that healeth all things. So a faithful friend is going to give you that medicine of life, which is what? The scriptures. Right? And that's how you know it's a faithful friend. When they're not just, oh man, don't be doing that, you can't blah blah. They're going to bring scriptures in order to prove all things and actually show you, look, the Most High says this. It's not just me telling you this. Right? So I'm gonna go back to, or actually get Romans 1 and 17. We'll finish with that pertaining to a faithful friend, right? So this is Proverbs 27 and 6. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. You got to know that in order to be full of faith, you gotta be a good friend and correct people, even if it cuts into their spirit sometimes.
Most of the time it will.
And most of the time it will, but if they're in the spirit of the Most High and they really have faith in the word, they're gonna let those emotions subside, and then they're gonna be like, you know what, the water for that, the water for the correction, because you know what, I was going on. Right? Go ahead.
This is Romans chapter 1 verse 17. For therein is the righteousness of Yahweh revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith.
So again, the just shall live by faith. What is going to prove your faith? Works. But the point of it is, go ahead and read the first part one more time.
For therein is the righteousness of Yahweh revealed from faith to faith.
So the righteousness of the Most High is revealed from faith to faith, right? You think Solomon had faith?
Absolutely.
Isaiah, Jeremiah, all of these people. So their faith is revealed to us, and then we have faith. But also, when it comes to having a faithful friend, many times you're going through a situation or a certain circumstance, and then someone with faith is like, look, I got the perfect I was going through that. Here's some verses for that. And their faith is revealed to your faith, and their faith builds up your faith, right? Which is why two are better than one. In righteousness, right? So let's go ahead and go to actually let's go to Yahushua. Go to Matthew chapter 8. Let's read a couple accounts of Yahushua, and then we'll probably maybe get a couple from Acts and then close it out. So Matthew 8 and 5.
This is Matthew chapter 8, verse 5. And when Yahushua was entered in Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him, and saying, Lord, my servant litteth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented.
So there was a Roman soldier that came to Yahushua, and a lot of Israelites will argue, oh, well, he was Roman, or oh, he was an Israelite. My understanding of this is, how many Israelites are in the army, Ak?
I know a few.
I know a bunch of them.
I know
a bunch in high school, mostly so-called Mexicans down here, and I'd say, shoot, maybe one out of every 4 or 5 are in some branch of military.
They all go normally.
So I would say it was an Israelite, but that's neither here nor there, right? He had a servant. It says, my servant is at home. He's sick of the palsy. He's grievously tormented. He went to Yahushua. Go ahead.
And Yahushua saith unto him, I will come and heal him.
So Yahushua said, I'll heal him. Go ahead.
The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed.
So he said, you know what? I'm not even worthy of having you in my house.
Just speak to me.
Just speak, and I know he'll be healed. That's how much faith he had. Right? Now let's see what Yahushua said. Go ahead.
For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, go, and he goeth, and to another, come, and he cometh. And to my servant, do this, and he doth. So
he's just explaining to Yahushua that he has a lot of power and authority, but over these soldiers and these other men, which are wicked. Go ahead.
When Yahushua heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel.
So he said, I haven't found anybody else with so much faith amongst Israel. All these Israelites I'm going to. And remember, he said he was only sent to the lost sheep of that house of Israel, right? So he was going amongst Israel, and he said, I haven't found nobody else, right? It said he marveled.
He was amazed.
He was amazed that this man had so much faith. Go ahead.
And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
The people that don't have faith, that's what's going to happen to them. They're going to be cast out into outer darkness, weeping, gnashing the teeth. Go ahead.
And Yahushua said unto the centurion, go thy way, and as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. And his servant was healed in the selfsame hour. So
he said, as you have believed, right? That's a very important part. As thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. Now let's take this and use it in modern day, use it in a modern day situation, right? Verse 8, the soldier said, just speak the word only, and he's going to be healed. Right? Most people do not have the faith to say just the word is going to heal them.
Right. I need you to physically touch.
They need some type of, there's people that don't believe they can be healed at all. right?
True.
And,
In their own head.
and that's why he said in verse 13, as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. So if you don't believe that you can be healed from whatever it is, whether it's depression, whether it's things that have happened to you in your past, whether it's an addiction you're trying to overcome, whether it's a certain lust, or whether it be a certain obstacle, trial, tribulation, whatever the case may be, Yahushua said, as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. So whatever you believe, it's just like I said, I believe it was yesterday in that video, right? If life and death is in the power of the tongue, right? And what comes out of your mouth proceeds from your heart, which is your mind, right? How much more powerful is your heart than your tongue? So he said, as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. So in other words, if you don't believe you can be healed, you're not going to be healed. You don't have faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please the Most High, right? Go ahead and jump down to verse 23.
Verse 23. And when he was entered into a ship, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, insomuch that the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep.
So I'm sure the majority of people have heard this story, right? Where they're in the sea and there's a huge storm. The ship is getting covered with waves. And what was Yahushua doing now?
Man was knocked out.
He was sleeping. Go ahead.
And his disciples came to him and awoke, saying, Lord, save us, we perish.
So it's funny because when you, it's funny, but it's not funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? So there's people that say this never happened. This is completely a parable. Nobody was ever baptized physically, all of these things, right? But when you look at this physically and spiritually, man, it goes perfectly with the things that are happening in our lives, right? Because you could be walking with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you could be walking in the word, but we know that certain things are going to happen. You're going to be tried, you're going to be tested in different ways. We should all know this by now, right? My son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul. Temptations, trials.
Set thy mind to right.
Come. So if you're walking with Yahushai, they were walking physically with him, but you're walking with the word, and then something happens, some type of storm in life happens, right? You have to learn to be like Yahushai. You got to be at peace with it, because he has faith. He had real faith in the Most High. He was sleeping. He was like, man,
I ain't worried about nothing.
Exactly. He wasn't worried about anything, right?
So this was supposed to happen. Yeah, true.
So they wake up and they're probably screaming, Lord, save us. We're going to die. We perish. That's what they're saying. We're going to die. Go ahead.
And he saith unto them, why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith?
Why are you fearful, right? Are you moving in faith or are you moving in fear? Do you really trust in the Most High? Right? He said, O ye of little faith. It says, we perish. So one thing that I've heard from, I heard it from a sister recently, and it kind of, man, I was like, damn, like even for somebody to be thinking that, it's a sad, it's like how it says, you gotta learn how to eat the honey, the bitter and the sweet, right? Because me personally, and I say this in the most humble way as possible, there's never been anything since I've been in this truth to where it was like, damn, like I'm gonna fall out the truth. I'm gonna perish, like they were saying, right? I've never been like, that's it, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? And most High willing, that never happens, right?
Them type of experience.
But it happens to people, and this is what's happening to the disciples. They said, we perish, we're gonna die. But when you look at it spiritually, there's people that fall into that spirit, and they're like, damn, is this even for me? You know what I mean? So what did Yahushua say? He said, why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? So you have little faith when you are moving in fear. Because again, 2 Timothy 1:7, the Most High doesn't give you the spirit of fear, right? He gives you the spirit of power, which that only comes through faith, and of love, keeping the commandments, and of a sound mind. When you're moving in fear, when you have fear of things, you are not moving with a sound mind. Right? Go ahead and read 26 from the top.
And he saith unto them, Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm.
So he rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. Right? So what did he say to Peter?
You tell Peter to come out here and walk on the water, man.
Okay. Well, what did he say to Peter? He said, "Get thou behind me, Satan."
Oh yeah.
Right.
Peter came to talk to him. He said,
"Get hence from me, Satan." Right. So why did he say that? Because he was rebuking Satan, right? Just like he rebuked the sea and the winds. This is what we have to do when certain temptations, devils, demons, evil spirits try to come at us.
I be rebuking them, man, every day.
Right?
Anytime some type of demon try to hop on me and I realize it, I'll be like, man, get away from me, dude. Like,
and then there's a what? There was a great calm. Right? So actually get Mark 4, I think it's 440. It's the same account, but look at what he said right here. Come, Mark 4 and 40.
This is Mark chapter 4, verse 40. And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that you have no faith?
How is it that you have no faith? So if you read Matthew, the 8th chapter, which we read a little bit of it, right? Where he was healing people and stuff. The disciples were just with him. They were just with this man, with the Hamashiach Yahushua Messiah. They saw him healing the sick, healing the blind, casting out demons, right? And then they're over here with no faith.
I would have been telling Luke.
Go ahead and read it one more time.
And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that you have no faith?
Imagine Yahushua asking you this. If you're moving in fear in your life, right? I'm in fear of doing this or doing that, whatever it may be, you fill in the blank. Imagine Yahushua asking you, why don't you have fear?
Why don't you have faith?
I mean, Salakia, why are you moving in fear? Why don't you have faith?
I would have been speechless.
Man, you would be so...
Like, I'm embarrassed.
You'd be ashamed, right?
I would. Like, I just saw you do all this. Now you asking me. I'm sorry. Salakia, please.
Exactly. So the disciples saw all these miracles happen, right? But just think of all the things that the Most High has done for you in your life. Just awakening you to the truth is enough, right? Just allowing you to not believe the lies and believe that the Most High is real, that the Word is real. That's a miracle in itself. So then why don't you have faith? So then why are you still moving in fear or not wanting to move in faith and just staying in a state or in a spirit of fear, right? That's like in MMA, they would tell you a lot of people, and I've seen it happen, they literally get frozen with fear. Frozen with fear. Exactly. They muddy waters is what they call it. Where they're so frozen with fear they can't move, they can't do anything. That's not a spirit of the Most High, right? Go ahead and go over to Matthew chapter 9. We'll get a couple more accounts, and then we'll probably go ahead and close it out. Matthew chapter 9 and verse 20.
This is Matthew 9 and 20. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. So she was sick, she was diseased for 12 years, and she just came and touched the edge of his garment. Go ahead. For she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. So she said within herself, she was just thinking, man, say it out loud. If I just touch his fringes, I'm going to be made whole. I'm going to be, this disease I've had for 12 years, right? Which can be a number of completion, the 12 tribes. She said in her mind, if I just touch this man's garment, I'm going to be healed. Go ahead. But Yahushua turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith has made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. So he turned around. He knew her thoughts, right? She said, your faith made you whole.
and she was healed from then on. So think about it this way. Whatever you're going through, like if you're moving in fear, right? Or if you're moving in a spirit that is not of faithfulness,
even if it's doubt.
right? Even if it's just doubt, even if it's you don't think you can be healed, it's just like he said to the centurion, as you believe, it's going to be done. You believe he's going to be healed, so he's healed. He told this woman, as you believe, your faith is making you whole. Not that her faith literally did it. It's not like no what is it, law of attraction or nothing like that.
Right.
But it's because the Most High knows when you truly have faith. So when you truly have faith in something, he's going to give it to you, right? If you have the works to back it up. And that's like Matthew. If you want to hold that and go to Matthew 7:7 real quick. Matthew 7:7.
This is Matthew 7:7. Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you.
So ask and it'll be given to you. Seek it and you'll find it. That's the works right there, right? You got to actually seek it. Ask, and you know what? He'll give it to you. But what else you got to do? You got to seek it so you can find it. You got to knock. How do you knock on a door? You physically go up and you knock on the door, and it'll be opened unto you. He'll open up the circumstances for you to get what you want when you're asking and in faith and seeking it in faith. Go ahead.
For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened.
If you ask, it'll be given. If you seek, you'll find. If you knock, it's going to be opened up. Go ahead.
Or what man is there of you, whom if his son asks bread, will he give him a stone?
If my son Noah asked me he said, I'm hungry, Dad, can I have something to eat? Am I going to give him a stone and be like, here, chew on this?
Nah.
Of course not. Go ahead.
Or if he asks a fish, will he give him a serpent?
If he asks me, Dad, I'm hungry, can you give me a fish? Am I going to give him a snake? Of course not. Go ahead.
If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good things to them that ask you?
So if us, totally imperfect, right? None righteous, no, not one. All our righteousness is as filthy rags. And we can still be like, oh, you know what, son? Here you go. I'm going to give you some bread. I'm going to give you what you want. You're hungry? Here you go. Eat this. You asked for fish. Here's fish and bread. You know what? Look, this is my last tea. Go ahead and drink it. So if we can do that, not being perfect, not being righteous, how much more will the Most High do that for us? But this is the problem. Because how many people do you think that know they're Israelites ask the Most High of something? All of them.
Everybody.
All of them.
Everybody.
So then why aren't they receiving?
Because you ask amiss, or you're not following the word how you're supposed to, or you lacking in something.
You're lacking in one area or another, right?
You're lacking in something.
And one of the biggest ones, again, because going along with this lesson, is they don't have faith.
Don't have faith that it's going to be answered.
So go ahead and go to James chapter 1, and then we'll come back to Matthew. We'll go back to Matthew 9 after that. James 1, and you can start on 6. So the reason why many times, and that's like not lesson, but that video I did the other day on someone had asked, why are my prayers getting answered? I gave a few, I think four reasons, right? Why? And there's more reasons than that it could be, but one of them is faith. Go ahead.
This is James chapter 1, verse 6. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed.
Please, Yahweh, heal me of this, but you don't really have faith you're going to be healed. You just got that little seed of doubt, and guess what? Seeds grow.
Or if you ask Yahweh to give you something specifically, you got to have faith that he's going to answer your prayer. It may not be how you expect it, but just have faith that he's going to answer it in general and give you everything that you're asking for that's good for you and needful.
You have to have faith in that as well. But again, it says, let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. A lot of people waver on that.
Yeah.
Well, I want this. Can I have this, Yahweh? Man, I don't think I'm going to be able to get that. Please heal me of this. And I don't know. I haven't been able to for this long. Go ahead.
For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord.
You're not going to get nothing from the Most High if you're wavering and you don't have real faith. Go ahead.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Because you're being double-minded. Please give me this, but you don't have real faith that he's going to answer that prayer. So why would he answer that prayer? So go ahead and go back to Matthew 9 and 27.
This is Matthew 9 and 27. And when Yahushua departed thence, two blinded men followed him, crying and saying, Thou son of David, have mercy on us.
Two blind men. Right? Go ahead.
And when he was come into the house, the blind men came to him, and Yahushua saith unto them, Believe ye that I am able to do this? They said unto him, Yes, Lord.
So he said, You believe I can heal you? They said, Yes. Go ahead.
Then touched he their eyes, saying, According to your faith, be it unto you.
Again, he said, According to your faith, be it unto you. If your faith is wavering and you don't believe the Most High is going to answer your prayer, then he's not going to answer your prayer. Because it's going to be unto you according to your faith. I don't have faith, I'm going to make it to the kingdom. Thou sayest. I don't have faith, I'm going to make it through Jacob's trouble. I believe I have a chance of making it to the kingdom. The Most High made me wake up to this truth, and he's actually got me doing better right now than I've been doing in a long time or ever. Exactly. According to your faith, be it unto you. Go ahead.
And their eyes were open, and Yahushua straightly charged them, saying, See that no man knows.
So their eyes were open, right? But again, like it said in verse 29, according to your faith, be it unto you. You truly believe, then it's going to happen for you. You don't believe, okay, then it's not going to happen for you. Go ahead and go to Matthew 14. You know what's like it's 17. And 14.
This is Matthew 17 and 14. And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man, kneeling down to him and saying, I don't want to have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed.
He's crazy. Go ahead.
For oft times he falleth into the fire and oft into the water.
He doesn't know what he's doing. Go ahead.
And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him.
So he said, my son is crazy, right? He's a lunatic. He's vexed with an evil spirit. So I brought him to your disciples. They couldn't do nothing. Go ahead.
Then Yahushua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me.
He said, faithless and perverse generation. Faithless generation, right? He said, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Man, that is not something you want the Son of Man to be saying about you.
He's getting vexed now.
Right? He is. He's getting vexed because they didn't have enough faith. Not even his disciples had enough faith to heal this man. Right? So he's getting real vexed. And this is something that you got to ask yourself, right? He said, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? However long you've been in the truth, right? Like ask yourself whether it be a month, a year, 5 years, 10 years, right? If you're still moving in a spirit of fear and you're not moving in faithfulness, like how long do you think the Most High is going to be with you?
That's a good question.
How long shall I be with you? This is something that I asked somebody, a good friend of mine, I asked recently too. I said, how long do you think the Most High is going to give you to get right? And they were like, I don't even know how to answer that. You can answer it. And that's where the fear of the Most High should come in.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't know how long. If the Most High told you, look, and they made it known to you through dreams, through precepts, through people, through signs, all of these things, and you still haven't done it, right? It's like Yahushua said right here, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Right? We don't know how long he's going to give us, which is why we have to concentrate and focus on getting right now. Not, okay, well, when I feel better, or when I feel like it, or once once I'm ready, right?
Well, that's the worst one right there. Once I'm ready.
Once I'm ready, like I told you, right, about about fighting, right?
Yeah.
What I remember what I told you about my coach. He would be like, okay, you want to fight? All right, get in there.
Get in there.
Get in there. Let's see you spar.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're gonna learn how to fight. Now I'm not gonna say go 100% with him, right? But you gotta jump in the pool if you want to learn how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, read 17 and then keep going on.
Then Yahushua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Yahushua rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour.
So the disciples couldn't cure him. He said they were faithless, and then all he did was rebuke the devil, and it departed out of him. Go ahead.
Then came the disciples to Yahushua apart and said, why could not we cast him out?
So they didn't go when they were around everybody. It was when Yahushua was apart from everybody, and he was like, hey, the disciples said, why couldn't we cast out that devil? Go ahead.
And Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief.
Because of your unbelief. Imagine Yahushua, the Son of Man, telling you that.
You ain't got enough belief, though. That's why.
You didn't have enough faith. You didn't have enough belief. Go ahead.
For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you.
See, all you have to do is have faith. That's what some people say. You read the justice precept, right? It says, because of your unbelief, for verily or surely I say to you, if you have faith as the size of a grain of a mustard seed, if y'all ever seen a mustard seed, they are some of the tiniest seeds you will ever see.
Growing to something very big.
They are tiny little seeds, right? So he said, if you have that much real faith, right, and anything will be possible to you. But here comes the works. Go ahead.
Ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you.
Go ahead.
Howbeit, this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting.
But this kind doesn't go out but by prayer and fasting. What gets us more power from the Most High?
Definitely connected to the source by prayer.
Connecting, I couldn't have said it better. Connecting to the source through prayer with the Most High, right? But also fasting yourself makes you stronger. Some people think it makes you weaker because all your parasites are dying off, and you really want to eat, right? And that could be physical parasites, like the ones you get from eating GMOs and all this bad food, or it could be spiritual parasites, those spirits on you, the spirit of fear on you, right? The spirit of addiction, the spirit of lust, the spirit of porn, the spirit of whatever the case may be, the spirit of fear. You got to pray and fast that off, right? Because again, if you're not moving in faith, then you're moving in fear. And he told them, you don't have enough faith to cast it out. That means they had fear in them. So to some level, to some degree. And that's why, and it's proof that they had fear in them. They prove it in what they did. Because it says in verse 19. Go ahead and read it one more time.
Then came the disciples to Yahushua apart and said, why could not we cast him out?
You got that? They came to him apart. Why would you go? Why wouldn't they just ask in front of everybody, hey, how come we couldn't cast him out?
It was embarrassed.
They had fear of what they were going to think.
It was like, oh, they was going to think of us like.
Exactly. So they were moving in the spirit of fear. And that's why it's very important to catch the little things like that. You got to think, okay, well, why would the disciples come apart to your house? Why didn't they just ask them right then and there? Because they were moving in the spirit of fear. And that's why he said, because of your unbelief, right? He said, y'all need to get some prayer in. Y'all need to get some fasting.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Y'all need to get that spirit of fear off of you, and you can get the spirits off of these people. Right? So let's go to chapter 21. Shalom, Mark, Brother Drea. Chapter 21 and verse 21.
This is 21 and 21. Yahushua answered and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done.
So what had happened was Yahushua came and he was hungry, right? And there was a fig tree, and all that was on the fig tree was there was just leaves. There was no figs, right? So he what he said was, let me go up to it. You want to read 19 just for context sake?
Time.
Or 18, Salakia.
Time. Now in the morning, as he returned into the city, he hungered.
So Yahushua was hungry. Go ahead.
And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it and found nothing thereon but leaves only, and said unto it, Let no fruit grow on the tree. Salakia, let no fruit grow on thee henceforward forever. And presently the fig tree withered away.
So Yahushua went to the fig tree. There was only leaves on it. He said, you know what? No fruit is ever going to grow on this ever again. And it withered away, right? It just died. It just curled up and died. Go ahead.
And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, How soon is the fig tree withered away?
They marveled. They were amazed. They were like, man, look how fast that withered. Go ahead.
Yahushua answered and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also, if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done.
So he said, if you have faith and you don't doubt, you can say to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, and it shall be done. Now we over here earth bending and moving mountains. No, he's speaking in a parable. Whatever mountain it is you're facing, whatever mountain it is that you have fear of facing, if you just have faith and don't doubt, you'll be able to remove that mountain. Whatever your biggest fear is, right? If you really have faith, he said, if ye have faith and doubt not, if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed and be cast into the sea, it shall be done. But you have to truly believe it.
Absolutely.
Whatever obstacle, pretend that mountain is whatever obstacle you have from getting right with the Most High, from truly following his word. If you really have faith, which faith brings about works, and you don't doubt, you can remove that mountain from your life. Go ahead and read the next verse.
In all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive.
Believing ye shall receive. Again, Matthew 7:7. Asking, it'll be given to you. Seeking, ye shall find. Knocking, it'll be opened up. Right?
Only if you believe.
If you truly believe and you're willing to seek, that's why I said you have to seek the Most High with all your heart. Right? And you're really willing to knock. And here's another thing. When you knock and that door gets opened, you got to be willing to do the works to go into the door. You got to walk in that door.
Take whatever repercussions come with it.
Exactly. So if you knock on something, look, Most High, please do this. Please give me this. Please give me that. Right? And that just reminded me, I don't know why, but of a post I had posted a long time ago. And it basically said most people or many people are afraid to ask the Most High to remove the demons and distractions from their lives because they're not willing to give those people up.
I already broke past that. I definitely understand. I definitely get it. It's definitely, you know what I'm saying?
Understandable?
It's understandable, but unacceptable.
Exactly. Exactly, right? But let's go ahead and go to chapter 25.
All right.
Should probably be the last one in Matthew. 25, starting on 14.
This is Matthew 25:14. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods.
Go ahead.
And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey.
So imagine somebody, okay, look, I'm gonna give you five, just to put it in layman's terms. Here is $500. Here is $200. Here is $100, right? And according to your own ability. Now, this doesn't have to be money. This could be, notice they called them talents back then. That was just the currency, or how they would call the coins, right?
Mm-hmm.
But imagine it's actual talents, or it's actual gifts that the Most High gives you, right? I'll give you the gift of prophecy. I will give you the gift of dreams. I will give you the gift of being a good husband, or a good head, a good leader. I will give you the gift of
being able to teach.
Being able to teach. I'll give you the gift of having a child or children, right? So now you're in charge of these gifts. Now how you use them, how you take care of them, is on you. Go ahead.
And then he that received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents.
Go ahead.
And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2.
So the one who got 5, he doubled them up, right? Then the one who got 2, same thing. He used them to make more. Go ahead.
But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money.
Go ahead.
After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord.
So the one who got 5 talents, or 5 gifts, or 5 $100 bills, whatever you want to use as a reference, right? He went to the servant went to the Lord, to the outer one, and which just basically means someone above him, right? And he said, look, you gave me 5 and I got 5 more, right? So what did he say to him? He said, good and faithful servant, you've been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. What does this represent? Okay, the Most High gave you a wife. How are you going to rule over her? Right? According to knowledge. If you don't, that's on you. The Most High gave you a child. How are you going to make them? Are you going to raise them in the knowledge of the Most High? Are you going to keep them in line according to the word? Let's say you got 2, 3, 4, 5 children. Now you got even more that you got to take care of, right? Let's say the Most High gave you knowledge. The Most High gave you wisdom, right? And now are you going to pass that wisdom on to somebody else and get an increase from it? Or are you just going to go hide that wisdom? You're going to go bury it, right? It's like Yahushua said in Matthew, the 5th chapter, like what good is it to have a lamp and then put it under a bed? Right? You have to let your light shine. You use the talents or the gifts that the Most High gives you in order to make an increase from it. Go ahead.
He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Again, you know what? You got less, but you still doubled it up. You still used it to bring an increase, right? And that's why the scriptures say the work is many, but the laborers are few, right? Whatever talent or whatever gift the Most High gives you, you need to use to bring an increase, not to yourself, to the kingdom of the Most High. Go ahead. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine.
So he said, look, I knew you were strict. I knew you're hard, right? And what did he say? And I was afraid.
Spirit of fear.
Spirit of fear. But the one that got 2 and doubled it up, and the one that got 5 and doubled it up, he said in verse 23, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. So I'm going to give you and make you a ruler over more things, right? See, when you're moving in the spirit of faith and you're abounding from it, you're actually you're doing things with your faith and with the things that the Most High gives you to bring forth more, right? Then he's going to keep giving you more. But if you're moving in a spirit of faith, of fear, Salakia, like it says in 25, I was afraid, right? If you're moving in a spirit of fear, this is what the Most High thinks of you. 26.
His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant.
You're wicked and you're slothful when you're in a state of fear. Why? Because again, you're frozen in fear most of the time. You won't make moves. Well, the word says do this. Well, I know it says do that, but now, what if it doesn't work out? You're in a state of fear. So what does he call you? He calls you wicked and slothful. Go ahead.
Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed.
Go ahead.
Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury.
Go ahead.
Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which hath 10 talents.
So he said, you didn't do nothing with what I gave you. I literally gave you something and you did nothing with it, right? Whether that be a gift of dreams, a gift of prophecy, gift of discernment, a gift of children, a gift of a gift of a wife, a gift of a spirit of being a wife,
a gift of the spirit of being a wife, a gift of being able to, in a man's terms, a gift of you being able to teach a potential wife,
right?
All types of stuff.
And if you don't want to do these things, then the Most High is going to take from you. Instead of giving you more, he's going to take from you. But again, it all comes down to being in that spirit of fear, right? And what is he going to do? It says, take therefore the talent from him, take the little bit he has, and give it to the man with 10 talents. He knows what to do with it, right? He knows what to do with that. That's like, what was his name? The one that got a stroke, Nabal, right? He had Abigail. Abigail was his wife. She feared the Most High. She was I don't believe it says a righteous woman, but she was someone who believed in the Most High. She was good wife material. Let's put it that way. She met David. Nabal was a crazy, stupid, brutish man, and he wasn't ruling his wife well. Let's say that. And what did the Most High do? He killed him and gave Abigail to David. Right? That's exactly what the Most High can do in any situation. It could be money. It could be a gift that he gave you, spiritual gift, physical gift, whatever the case may be. Right? Because you were slothful, because you were wicked. So he's going to take the talent from him and give it unto him which hath 10 talents, because he is faithful. Go ahead, 29.
For unto everyone that hath for unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath.
So what this is really talking about, when you read this in context, verse 29, it's talking about faith. It says, for unto everyone that hath faith shall be given. He's going to be given more and more and more because he was a faithful servant, right? So he's going to have abundance. But from him that hath not faith, because again, what does faith make you do?
Work.
It makes you work. It makes you move. So to him that hath not, the one that didn't have faith, what did he do? He didn't do anything. He didn't do nothing with the talent, right? It says, it's gonna be taken away, even that which he had. Any little bit that you have, that little bit of faith you do have, is gonna be taken away, right? Because you're an unprofitable servant when you're in fear. Because without faith, it is impossible to please the Most High. Go ahead and read 30 as well.
And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Again, that weeping and gnashing of teeth, right? And some people don't believe in that, but oh, it's real, right? A lot of people are gonna believe it once they're weeping and gnashing their teeth, right? So let's go to let's read one more account, and then we'll close it out. Luke chapter 12 and 41. This is one of my favorite, one of the first I guess you could say little stories or accounts that I ever heard from the word. And it was because of that first, I think it was the first Spider-Man with where he was fighting in the cage and everything.
Yeah. That was one. This is Luke 12 and 41. Then Peter said unto him, Lord, speakest thou this parable unto us, or even to all? And the Lord said, who then is that faithful and wise steward?
Who's the faithful and wise person? Go ahead.
Whom his Lord shall make ruler over his household, to give them their portion of meat in due season.
See, the Most High makes you a ruler over your own house and gives you your own portion of meat in due season, which could represent a lot of things, but let's just say the provisions, the things that are needed spiritually and physically, right? When you're faithful and you're wise, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai will make you the ruler over your house, and he's going to give you everything you need. He's going to give you all the necessities you need to live physically, and all the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, discernment you need in order to live spiritually. Go ahead.
Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing.
So you're going to be blessed when Yahweh sees that that's what you're doing, right? You're being wise. You're being faithful. Go ahead.
Of a truth, I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he has.
He's going to make you the ruler over all you have, and then some, just like we read in the last account of Matthew, right? He said you were faithful over a little bit, so he's going to give you a lot more. Go ahead.
But if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and drink, and to be drunken.
So if you wake up to the truth, right? You're trying to serve the Most High, but then in your mind, you think like, damn, the Lord delayeth his coming. No, nobody's really going to say that in their head. Oh, he's delaying coming. But I've heard certain people that fall out of the truth because they thought they put the end of the world on their own timeline. Right? They thought, oh, well, I was in the truth 5 years and I thought it was going to end in 3, and it still hasn't happened.
So it ain't for me.
Right? Or they'll say he's delaying by thinking they have all this time to get right. Right? Oh, well, I got enough time. I can fix this, or I can do what that says to do later because I have time. They think he's going to delay his coming. Right? And it says, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens. In other words, you are now going, because remember, the second greatest command, again, is to love your neighbor as yourself. Right? If you don't love your neighbor as yourself, those striving to be in the truth as yourself, correcting them and striving to help them and reprove them and exhort them, then you are spiritually beating them down, right? You're spiritually oppressing them as well. And then it says, and to eat and drink and to be drunken. And you're just worrying about all the worries of the world, right? You're focused on all the worldly things. That's why it says the kingdom of heaven is not in meat and drink, right? It's not a worldly thing. So when you think you have all this time, you're going to start worrying about the worldly things. And to be drunken, and you're going to be drunk off doctrine, you're going to be drunk off of lust, you're going to be drunk off of all these other things, right? Go ahead.
The Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him in sunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers.
So if you're not being faithful and wise and you think you got time to get right in certain areas, you start worrying about the vain things of the world, then guess what? Yahushua, the angels, 144,000, is going to come upon you unaware like the majority of people, right? At an hour when you're not aware, and will cut him in sunder. He's going to cut you to pieces and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. And you're over here thinking, well, you know, I still got time to get right. I know the truth. He woke me up to the truth, so I'm doing better than the unbelievers. But in the end, if you're not sincerely striving to follow his word and move in faith, he's going to give you the same portion as the unbelievers, right? Just like how it says, I would rather you be hot or cold. If not, you're lukewarm, you're going to end up just like those that are cold and just out of this truth completely. But this is the part I really love. 47. Go ahead.
And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes.
So if you know the Most High's will, right, and you're not doing it, right, and the Most High's will is for us to keep the Sabbath. The Most High's will is for us to be set apart. The Most High's will is for us to obey our parents, especially him, right? The Most High's will is all of these things, right? Even in what is it? 1 Timothy, the 5th chapter, it says, I will therefore that the younger women marry. Because if not, they're going to be turned aside after Satan, right? The Most High, all of the things that he wills us to do, it says, the servant which knows his will and doesn't prepare himself, neither does according to his will, is going to what? Be beaten with many stripes. He's going to get curse after curse, punishment after punishment. Go ahead.
But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more.
Yep, that's the part, man. I love that part. But he that knew not, there's some people that don't know the whole will. Yeah, maybe they found out they're an Israelite. Maybe they didn't get the whole thing, right? And did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. You're not going to, because the Most High is perfect even in his judgment, right? Righteous judgment, righteous punishment. So he's going to be like, you know what? Okay, you were doing this. You didn't really know fully. I'm going to punish you like this. It's going to be just punishment. But then there's going to be people that they knew exactly what the Most High required of them. He gave them sign after sign. He gave them correction, rebuke after rebuke, right? He had people telling them, look, this is where you're going wrong. Look, the scripture says this. He showed them in dreams, etc. And they still didn't want to do it. So they got to be punished more, right? It's only fair. It's only just for him to punish you accordingly. And then it tells you why. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall much be required. The more of this truth that you know, the more you're required to obey.
Yeah, spread it.
Right? The more that the Most High, because knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is more valuable than gold and silver. So if he gives you all of this spiritual gold and silver, guess what? You're responsible for it now. Right? And it says, and to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. If I tell this brother, hey, you know what? Protect my house when I'm gone. I'm gonna be gone for a week. That's a lot that I'm putting him in charge of. If something, I come back and my house is burned down and my family's kidnapped and all my animals are dead, and I'm over here like, what happened, Doc? What happened? You think I'm gonna be cool with him anymore?
Yeah, no.
Of course not. So when the Most High gives you talents, he gives you gifts, right? Whether it be spiritual gifts, whether it just be that you've been awakened to this truth, whether it be he's giving you signs and wonders and dreams and all of these things, guess what? He requires way much more of you now, right? Way much more of you now. So we'll go ahead and close it. Let's get two scriptures. If you want to get Acts 14:22. And I'll get First Corinthians. If anybody has any questions you want to ask in the next minute or two, if not, I'm going to close it out with like 2 or 3 more scriptures.
This is Acts chapter 14, verse 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of Yahweh.
So that's a lot in one verse. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples. If you're truly trying to walk in the discipline of the word, the Most High has to confirm your soul. He has to, like he tells us to prove all things, he's going to prove us as well, right? Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. This is what we have to do. And this is what I'm doing right now. We're trying to exhort you to continue in faith and not in fear. We're trying to peer pressure you into faith and not fear. Right? If you want to get 1 Corinthians 16:13, Baba Shah. 16:13. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith and not the fear, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. There's certain things, certain hobbies, maybe even jobs, people, lands, homes, whatever the case may be, you have to leave in faith, forsake in faith for the Most High, right? In order to make it to the kingdom. Yahweh Shai said that himself, Matthew 19:29. You have to do this in faith. This is what we're exhorting you to do, right? Through much tribulation, you will enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. You got to ask yourself, do you really believe that that tribulation is worth the kingdom? I definitely believe that. What about you, Alex?
Man, without a doubt.
You
don't suffer either way, so you might as well suffer for the kingdom.
Exactly, right? You're going to suffer either the curses or you're going to suffer for righteousness' sake.
Man, going for the good path.
Exactly. Go ahead.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men, be strong. Let all your things be done with charity.
So in the Salah, oh, okay, 13, yeah. It says, watch ye. We got to be watching, keeping watch at all times, right? For spiritual, first of all, we got to be watching to make sure we're not falling off, right? We got to be watching ourselves first and foremost, which is why we started with 2 Corinthians 13:5, right? To examine yourselves whether you're in the faith. But then we also got to watch for evil spirits all around us, right? Then it says, stand fast in the faith. Stand strong in the faith. Quit you like men. In some of the other translations, it says, be men. Be strong. Right? To be in the faith and to really walk in faith, it is a spirit of strength. It's a spirit of power that the Most High gives you. Right? But you can't be walking in fear and be strong. You can't be walking in fear and be walking in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? Shalom, Ak, I got a very important question when you finish. Ak, I don't know what is going on. I'm behind on my rent. I got let go on 4 jobs in the past month, but it always goes back to me owing my thing. I try to make it work, but I feel like the Most High says, no, I got opportunities to be an independent contractor. I asked because I just started a job. And dude, so let's look at it this way, right? I don't know the whole situation because it's cut off on the comment. If you want to message me, Ak, and we could talk personally about the matter. Oh, dude, let me go. Okay, Khan. So let me tell you this, right? Every single situation, every single day when we wake up, right, we have an opportunity to move in faith, in the spirit, or to move in fear or some other type of evil spirit, right? If you want to get Second Timothy 1:7 one last time out. Okay, so we just read Acts 22, where it says, through much tribulation will we make it into the kingdom, right? If you got let go of 4 jobs in the past month, right? There's only two real reasons as to why that could be happening. One, the Most High is punishing you.
Yeah.
Or and I'm not asking you to tell me, oh, have you been going off? Have you whatever, right? One, the Most High is punishing you, or two, the Most High is giving you an opportunity to walk in faith, right? He's giving you that tribulation to see if you're actually gonna come out as gold on the other end, right? So
it's not gonna be easy.
It's not nothing's worth it. Nothing that's worth it is easy, right?
I was in a similar situation like that at once upon a time. I being behind on rent, about to get evicted, having nowhere. Well, there was no clear picture on where I was gonna be able to go or lay my head and any of that. And the Most High literally made me wait. I had 3 days until I had to get out. The Most High made me wait until the very last day of that 3-day time frame before he made something happen magically. And I'm talking about, it was just so, like, you just had one of them moments where you just know for a fact without a shadow of a doubt that that was the Most High. Because it's like, it's very painful and stressful when you're going through it. You feel me? But that's where you take comfort in the scriptures. You said, feels like I'm losing everything, right? So I tell you this, what I did when I was going through that situation, I felt the same exact way. You're gonna feel like you're losing everything, just like Job did. You're gonna feel like you're going crazy. But what you gotta understand is, in the Wisdom of Sirach, chapter 2, that whole chapter, if you just sit there and read that every single day and just meditate on everything in that chapter, despite what you're going through, if you truly believe and have faith in those scriptures, everything is gonna make itself better for you. Like I tell you, let me see. Prime example right here. I'm gonna read 3 verses from Sirach chapter 2, just so you can understand. This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 12 through 14. It says, "Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth 2 ways." So it starts off saying woe. You know, woe means death, destruction, all of that. So destruction to the fearful hearts. Your heart is your mind. So that means that you're doubtful. So destruction to anybody that has a doubtful mind. Destruction to anybody that has slothful hands, faint hands. And the sinner that goeth 2 ways. Verse 13 says, "Woe unto him that is faint-hearted." Once again, saying you're doubtful-minded. "For he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended." So the Most High literally telling you right now, if you don't believe that he can pull you out of the situation by the skin of your teeth at the last second when you feel like there's nothing else you can possibly do, he's not going to defend you, point blank. And then verse 14 says, "Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you?" That word patience is talked about a lot throughout the word, but yet a lot of people don't understand what it really means to have patience. It took me to go through that situation I just told you about for me to really understand what patience means. Once upon a time, I prayed for the patience of Job, and I didn't even know what I was asking for. Like, I'm so serious. Like, you got to truly understand that what you're going through right now is just a glimpse of, not even a glimpse. If you can't deal with what you're going through right now with a stable mind and patience and faith, imagine what it's going to be like for you in Jacob's trouble. Just think of it like that.
And this is the definition of patience, because this is something that I've gone over with my household many times, just to piggyback off the brother, right? Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset.
Acceptance of the delay. That was the key part right there. Acceptance
of the delay, trouble, or suffering. And then the other key is without getting angry or upset or fearful.
Sirach chapter 2, verse 4 says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Take it cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. That's what you're going through right now. Verse 10 says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? For whom did he ever despise that called upon him? If you just go back and read any account in the word, you're going to see that there's not a single time that people's faith wasn't being tested, and there was not a single time that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai failed to come through on his promise. He is not slack. It might feel like it's delayed, but it's all divine timing. He's trying to prove you right now. He's trying to see if you're going to come out of solid gold or if you're going to fall right now. That's all he's trying to do.
And go ahead and read, I think it's verse, 9? Which is take cheerfully.
Verse 4.
Oh, go ahead.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
So how are you going to take things, because you said, let me see, feels like I'm losing everything. Can you be cheerful and lose everything? This is what I made a video on, or a reel on, the other day. It's Matthew 16:25. It says, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. So if you really have faith and you think you're losing everything as far as losing your life, whether it be you lose an apartment, I know some people that have lost their home, their car, their marriage, all of these things at the same time, right? But in the end, if you're taking it, you can take it cheerfully if you take it as, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it. Maybe the Most High is answering you by terrible things in righteousness.
Absolutely. And even in Philippians 4:12, I mean, it just popped in my mind, so I'm going to give it to you.
Go ahead.
Philippians 4:12 says, I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. Right now you are suffering need, my friend. You need to know how to be abased, meaning that you need to know how to be low. You need to know how to be abound, meaning when things are finally going good, you need to know how to handle and carry yourself in both manners. So the Most High is just putting you through a situation right now, or allowing you to go through a situation right now, literally just to teach you a lesson. So focus on the lesson and focus on continuously connecting to the source nonstop, because we're supposed to continuously pray at all times, steadfast in prayer. When I was going through my situation, I was praying about 10 to 12 times a day. I could be real. Literally, I would drop to my knees and pray so many times throughout the day. There was a few times where I was starting to get a little bit fearful, but I had to remember 2 Timothy 1:7, for Yahweh has not given us the spirit of fear. So when you realize that the spirit of fear don't come from him, then it's easier for you to stop fearing.
Con. So Most High willing, you go ahead and we'll finish with that 2 Timothy 1:7. I thought about the word. We always got to be thinking about the word. Every situation, there's verses for that situation.
Read it.
The way on how dude let me go felt like the Most High had him do that. Well, if that's how you felt, if that's how the spirit the Most High put on you, yep, he made you feel that for a reason, right?
This is 2 Timothy 1:7. For Yahweh has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. A sound mind.
So no matter what we go through, if you're staying in the spirit, you're going to have a sound mind, and you're going to be moving in the power that only he can give you, which means you're going to be able to deal with and handle all the situations that he throws at you with wisdom, right? With wisdom, which is the scriptures. Again, right? Moving in faith, and again, faith without works is dead. So, meaning whatever he brings upon you, you are going to work towards following his word no matter what. That's what real faith is.
Dang.
Well, I don't know how it's going to work. Let me try this. Let me try that. If it doesn't go hand in hand and coincide with the word, it's not going to work out.
Man, I can only speak with passion right now because I literally just went through that, bro. Like I literally just went through. I'm not even making this up, bro. Like I was already going hard for the Most High, but I was going even harder after he pulled me up out of that. Like I was crying real tears while I was going through that. You might, you know, I don't know what you're dealing with your emotions and stuff like that, but me personally, I was crying, bro. Like there was days where I literally just break down and cry because I'm like, dang, I don't know what's gonna happen. Literally, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. My faith was being tested to the max. I ain't never had my faith tested like that before. And you don't know if you got real faith until it gets tested.
Because again, like we started with, I don't think you were on when we started, but do I have to have faith? I got a gallon of water right next to me. Do I have to have faith that it's next to me? No, because I can see it.
You can see it clearly.
I can clearly see that there. I got my iPhone is right here on the table. Do I have to have faith to know it's on the table? No, I can see it. But do you have to have faith to believe that the Most High is going to bring you out of the situation you're in when you can't see how you can be brought out of that situation? No.
Walk by faith and not by sight.
Exactly. And before we finish, just because what the brother said reminded me as well. When a few years ago, before we were living here at the house that we're at now, we were at an apartment. Shoot, it was probably like about 5 years ago, actually. We had same thing that the brother said. We had 3 days to get out, or else we were gonna have to pay another or sign another lease for a whole year. Right? We didn't want to do that. We were already like, man, we need to start moving towards like owning our own property, getting off grid, at least getting in a house instead of an apartment. So we had 3 days. Long story short, I was like, I took the day off. I was like, all right, let's go. We got to find a place. We couldn't find no other houses, only apartments. So we're like, we're just going to go drive around and try and find a house. So I get to like the main road and I was about to turn left to go to another city. And my rib was like, oh, why don't we try this city right over here? It's closer. So I literally turned in one direction. And I was like, you know what? All right, I'm going to listen to it. I turn around and we hit a dead end in this little town. And a cop pulls up behind me. And I was like, he started following me, right? And I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to turn around. I'm going to turn around, babe. I was telling my rib. And I'm going to roll down the window just so he won't pull me over. And I'm going to be like, hey, do you know anywhere where we could rent? Because we're looking for somewhere to rent. I turn around, put the window down. I ask him. And you know what he says? He was like, actually, I'm going to rent this place. It's right across the Rusaka if you want to go check it out. Long story short, we ended up living there for way cheaper than what we were paying at an apartment. And the Most High made it that way when we didn't even know what was going to happen or how it was going to go down, right? So that just having faith that he's going to make it work out, it is going to lead you down the right path.
Just think about Jacob's trouble, man. That's all you got to think about.
I'm learning now that
this is a walk of faith every day.
It's a walk of faith. It is a walk of faith.
The race, I forgot what verse it is. I can't think of it right now, but I just know it says, let us run this race that's set before us with patience and endurance.
So Most High willing, that's helpful to you. We can't keep the faith for you.
Right.
We can't make you walk by faith and not by sight. But Most High willing, he'll put the spirit on you to do just that. Right? So that being said, again, like always, Most High willing, at least one person gets something out of this message and is able to repent from the spirit of fear and walk in the spirit of faith, right? Because like the scriptures say, all the angels in heaven rejoice when one sinner turns from their ways. And without faith, it's impossible to please the Most High. So walking in the spirit of fear, most definitely you are not going to make it to the kingdom.
Absolutely.
So with that, I give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem HaMashiach, Yahweh Shai. Everybody move in faith, not in sight, and move in faith, right? Don't just have faith, move in faith. Like the brother just said, Satan wants you to move scared, right? Sometimes he don't even got to get you to sin. He don't got to get you to eat the pork and break the Sabbath and all that. All he's got to do is just leave you frozen with fear.
All I got to do make you scared.
Exactly. So without faith, it is impossible to please the Most High. Y'all keep that in mind. Move in the spirit of power. Shalom.